Hello friends and family of YouTube, it's Travis again with Just Keep Walking, and today I'm here at the Little Greenbrier Schoolhouse and we're going to be hiking up to the Walker Sisters cabin. But before I get started, let me give you some directions on how to get here, and those are coming up right now. Alright, so I'm taking you a little different direction this time, but if you're traveling from the Maryville-Alcoa area, you will pass through the city of Townsend. When you reach this traffic light, you're going to turn left on Wares Valley Road. It's about an 8 to 10 minute drive depending on traffic, and you're going to make a right turn here. And this is Line Springs Road, L-I-N-E, and I think they've changed the spelling of that. It used to be, I believe, L-Y-O-N as in lion, but now it's Line, L-I-N-E, Springs Road. So as you'll notice, when you top this hill, there's a gate. Weather conditions are bad, they will have this completely blocked off, and the road will get a little bit more narrow, and you now don't have the center line, but just keep in mind you are going in the correct direction. And you'll see that sign on the right that says Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Alright, and so the entrance is here on the left, and there's some parking right here if we need it, but they've actually got the gate already open, so we're going to drive up through here. I'm just going to go ahead and record this just so that you'll know, even though this is, you can drive back through here. Number one, it's rough for the potholes, and hang on a second, I'll talk once we get past this. You'll notice it is very, very narrow, so if you meet an oncoming car, there's a few places up here where you can pull over. Typically hike in through here versus driving it, but I did want to show you what this looks like. I'm not going to edit this out. I want you to see how long of a drive this is and what the road looks like. Because this road is so narrow and there's not really very many pullovers, just make sure to kind of go slow, because if you meet oncoming traffic, one of you is going to have to stop and probably back up a little bit till you find a spot where you can pull over, get out of the way. So the trail goes off up to the left, but the parking area will go down here. And I'm just gonna pull over here and back in, and we will get situated. All right, and here is the parking area. So if you drive in, there is definitely plenty of parking up here. All right, welcome back. As I mentioned, I'm here at the Little Greenbrier Schoolhouse. So being a little lazy today. I normally park down at Metcalf Bottoms and then hike up to here and then on up to the Walker Sisters cabin. But today the gate was open. Decided to just go ahead and drive here to the Little Greenbrier Schoolhouse, and then we'll hike up Walker Sisters cabin. I don't know the distance because I've never clocked that before from just going up here and up there, but once I have that at the end of the video, I will let you know how long the distance is and how long it takes to hike it. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, let me show you this before we go inside. If you do park down at Metcalf Bottoms picnic area, it is 6/10 of a mile to get there. And you do get to go across this log bridge. So, and I think this is the only one on this section of the trail, so I want to go down here and show this to you. Yep, Metcalf Bottoms picnic area, 6/10 of a mile. So this would be the way that you would come in from that direction. And you got a little bit of a creek here. Turn around so you can see this. But let's go up here and go to the schoolhouse. That's what we're wanting to see. All right, so let's head back up here to the schoolhouse and show you around. So there are some reports where people have experienced paranormal activity here. I would assume because it's over here next to the graveyard. We'll go over here and look at this real quick. So there is a cemetery, and it is in really rough shape. I'm hoping at some point the Park Service will spend some money to come up here and fix this one. But definitely some headstones in here at the cemetery. But as I mentioned, some people have experienced some paranormal activity. I've been up here many times and never experienced anything. It's one of my favorite places to go here. I just enjoy it. It shows a piece of the history and what things would have been like back in the day. So let's go in and see how well this is going to show up here. Use the flashlight. Hopefully that'll help a little bit. My problem is I get up here so early. It's still dark outside. And here would have been what they used for a chalkboard back in the day. Turn the flashlight off here and see if you can see anything. I'm going to switch to low light settings and then we'll film a little bit more and see if it'll show up. Alright, I don't know if that's any better or not, but these GoPros work really good when there's a lot of light, but not so much when it's dark. So let me use the flashlight again so you can see the front part up here. Turn that off. Hopefully this will show up a little bit better. But yeah, that's our first stop. All right, as I mentioned, I'm being a little lazy today. So normally I hike from Metcalf Bottoms up to this point, which is 6/10 of a mile. And then so round trip, that's 1.2. I think total it's about 3.5. So we're gonna maybe a little over 2 miles from here up to the Walker Sisters cabin and back. So not horrible hike, but there is the Little Greenbrier Schoolhouse again. Here is the cemetery, and this is where we're gonna go on up here to the rest of the trail. Show you where that's at. So here's the road we came in on, and then here's the view from up here. See the schoolhouse down below. Here's a better view maybe of the cemetery. And And then the trail actually is right up here. So that's where we went down to park. You'll see this up here. It says, "Do not block gate." So it's more of a road than a trail, because they have to be able to drive back there to do maintenance on the cabin. Well, didn't clear quite enough on my backpack, but we made it. Yeah, so here we go. Walker Sisters Cabin, 1.1 miles. So this is called Little Brier Gap Trail. And as I mentioned earlier, it's really a roadway. So wide, flat, got a lot of gravel on it. So pretty easy. And, you know, back there where we parked, 1.1 miles up here to Walker Sisters Cabin. So it's pretty easy little trail to hike. And definitely you can see some history. And by far one of my favorite places to visit. So you'll see why here shortly. Hopefully you can hear the birds in the background, which is always nice to hear. And then you can see kind of a foggy start this morning. Got up here a little after sunrise. So here in about another hour, all that fog will be gone. I just about forgot about this bridge. So water levels are pretty low, so we could walk across it, but we want to get the experience of going across the log bridge. So that's always pretty cool, but we will continue on. So when I left the house this morning, it was around 49 degrees. So I would expect it's a little cooler up here, maybe 45, 46. Just about perfect. I actually would like just a few degrees cooler, but and this is the weekend before Thanksgiving. So next week is gonna be crazy busy up here. We made the mistake of going through Cades Cove last year, or let me rephrase that, an attempt to go through Cades Cove last year, I think the Tuesday, right before Thanksgiving, and we had to cut through about halfway because it was just way too many cars. And so I thought there would be quite a few people up here today, and there probably will be later on, but so far it's just me, which is, you know, I like coming up here by myself early in the mornings just for that reason. But let me turn around and show you this real quick. Not much of a little creek, but it's something. We'll run into that creek again here in a minute, because there's a spring that starts up here at the Walker Sisters Cabin. And I know we won't see any bears on this trip, because I think I've mentioned it before, I just get up here way too early. I think they like for the sun to come out, warm up before they start moving around. Did see another video this week though, where they had to rescue a bear off of a rooftop there in downtown Gatlinburg. I think they had to use tranquilizer darts and safely move it away. But I mean, bears everywhere in Gatlinburg, and I mean, I'm literally out here in their neck of the woods and nothing. And I have seen one before. My wife and I, when she was hiking with me a couple years ago, we saw one right up here, but it was a little bit later in the day. So I'm gonna look for one, but I don't think we're gonna see any. I don't think you can see it, but there's one of the hog pens back there, or hog trap. The door's down on it right now. You might be able to see the piece of plywood for the door. That's where the bear, a couple years ago, he was sitting right next to it. I mean, just sitting on his butt like a human being. And at first when I was like, why would they put a fake bear next to that hog trap? My wife was about 20 feet in front of me, and all of a sudden I saw that bear turn his head and look that way, and I was like, oh, that's a real bear. So anyway, I was hoping we might get another glimpse of one, but just too early. All right, so here we are at this intersection. So we're gonna hang to the right here where it says Walker Sisters Cabin, 0.1 miles. Little Briar Gap straight ahead, and then that'll run into Little Greenbrier Trail. So this is the gap trail between the two to get up there to Little Greenbrier Trail. So that heads up that way, but we're gonna go down here to the Walker Sisters Cabin. So I'm always in a hurry when I'm hiking to like one of the cabins or waterfalls, somewhere where I know there's a lot of people wanting to see those types of sites, and I try to get up here early so I can be the first one here and I can film and explore and get all that done before anybody shows up, because one, I just feel self-conscious, you know, talking into the GoPro when there's other people around, and two, I don't like putting other people in the video because they probably were just coming up here, you know, to hike and get away from everything, and the last thing they want is somebody putting a camera in their face or being on video. So anyway, I'm moving at a faster pace, hoping that I'm ahead of everyone. There wasn't anybody in the parking lot there at the schoolhouse, but somebody could have been hiking up from Metcalf Bottom, somebody could be hiking up from Little Greenbrier Trail, so, and it could be somebody already up here for all I know, but hopefully we can get up here before anybody else and get some video and get out before anybody shows up. All right, hopefully you can see that. Looks like they have installed a much larger hog pen up here, and it looks like it is activated and ready to go. So I'm assuming if a bunch of hogs got in there, that thing will deploy automatically and capture them and get them out of here. But they are so destructive in this area. They're trying to catch as many of them and move them out of here, but I think that's a monumental task. I don't think they'll ever be able to get them all out of here now. And here we are. So this is the Walker Sisters place to show you. And here's what I'm talking about. See how the ground is all torn up? That's from the wild hogs. And this whole area in through here is torn up. It was not like this the last time I visited. So that's the reason they're trying to get those things out of here, because they're so dang destructive. But let's look in here, and I can already tell you when I open this, it's gonna squeak. I always tell myself I'm gonna bring some WD-40 and I forget. But anyway, let's look. Ooh. That'll wake you up. So there's the old spring house. So they would have used this area, one, to get water out of, but two, it would have kept things cooler during this time. So there's some shelves back there, so they could have put some of their canned vegetables and things back here, would have kept it cooler throughout the year. Let's close that. Gotta put WD-40 on my list. I hate to just carry that around in my backpack, but maybe I need to. Oh, let me show you this up here real quick too. So this was, I think, probably their original well that they got water out of. You can see it's caved in now, but I think that was the original well. And then at some point they built this just to make it a little bit easier to access, and also give them some storage with cooler temperatures during the summers. And here's the cabin. We'll investigate that in just a second. Let's walk up here first. Show you this. And this is pretty sweet. This is one of the nicest cabins here. But they would have used this to they could have put their carriage under here, any farm equipment. Golly, look at the ground here. Yeah, I mean, it's all torn up, and this looks fairly recent. Man, those hogs are just so destructive. But anyway, here's the inside of this. And this could have been multiple uses. My guess is they probably would have stored some hay in here for their animals. They might have hung up meat at one time when they were curing it, maybe tobacco, depending on what they were doing. They could have just used it for storage for like their farm tools and stuff. Here's the other side. Let me get up here around this. The ground's a muddy mess right now, and since these hogs have turned it up, makes it kind of nasty. But anyway, so there's that view. Let's go down here and look at the cabin itself. But I mean, yeah, I could definitely see myself living here. I would have loved it. And I will mention, I don't know if, you know, anybody watching this is not from the area. So these cabins are historical landmarks. They are open for the public to view and visit, but you cannot stay in these, like overnight. So just to make that aware, I've had people ask me questions about that in the past, so I just wanted to remind everyone while I was thinking about it. So let's go around the outside here real quick, and then we'll go inside. And there's a lot of flowers in this area in the spring. You could see them bloom. And then just look at this ground. My gosh. I mean, it's horrible. May run into some wild hogs while I'm up here. Hope not, but anyway, here's the back side of this. This ground, I mean, it doesn't look that bad on video, but these are like big, huge clods, and the whole ground is that way. I'll normally see some deer back here, but haven't seen any this morning because I'm talking too much. And then this is, I mean, I can hardly walk through it. They've torn this ground up so bad. I mean, I know it doesn't look that horrible, but I mean, you look at my foot compared to big old dirt clods. And then there's a squirrel that just came off the roof and that gave me a heart attack. I heard something flying off through here. All right, so let me work my way back around and we'll go in here and check it out. I gotta get my flashlight. It'll be too dark. You won't be able to see anything. Here we are, back around at the front. All right, so I turned the GoPro on low light settings. Maybe that'll help. I also got my flashlight here. See if this helps at all. I don't know if you can see it without it or not. Anyway, we'll put the flashlight here on it. Put it down for just a second and we'll scan around. All right, that's pretty dark, so let's put some light in here. And man, these are some low ceilings, and I'm not that tall of a guy, so built people much smaller back in the day. There's an old ice tray, if you can see that. That's pretty cool. That's the first time I've seen that. Somebody must have found it out somewhere on the property and brought it in. There's the chimney. So this would have been one room. And then come back out here to the porch and walk back in here to the main room. And let me turn the flashlight off, see what we can see. The old fireplace. Definitely dark back through here. And yes, we'll look up there in a second. Anytime I see a ladder in one of these, I have to go to investigate. Even though they've got us blocked off. Can't get up there, but I'll show you what I can. But yeah, big old nice fireplace. I would hate to imagine the amount of wood you would have had to cut, though, to heat one of these places back in the day. And again, these rafters, man, are low. Very, very low. And let me show you this. This is one of the most interesting parts. I try to mention this every time, but it's probably going to be hard to see with that flashlight. Let me see what I can do. But they used to take old newspapers and put them on the walls for insulation. And most of it's gone. You can read a little bit. Trying to get this where you can see it, where I'm not blinding you. But yeah, it used to be all along through here, and there's not much left. But I always thought that was pretty interesting. All right, so I'm going to show you this real quick. But as you can see, they've got us blocked off. Like I can't get up there. Used to be able to walk around, but when they come up here and did some renovations, they caged this off so people wouldn't get up there. Probably to damage the cabin and also the possibility of getting hurt. But we're going to go up here real quick. I'm going to have to turn the GoPro off so I can climb the ladder, and then I'll show you. All right, I'm going through the gate here. So this was a whole upstairs You know, and back then, any kind of indoor space would have been like ample square footage. So this is, I mean, this is a ton. This doubles this one room. And now this would have been there's no fireplace or anything up here, so it would have been a cold winter. But during the summers and stuff, and they may have used it just to store stuff up here, but my guess is at some point somebody probably lived up here. And there's a window over there to the far side. You can see the light coming through, but without me using the flashlight, you really can't see anything. So this is the attic area, and there's a pole up through there, so they were probably hanging up stuff, maybe tobacco or meat or something. But anyway, just a lot of space. One of the larger cabins here in the Smokies. All right, so that was Little Greenbrier Schoolhouse up here to the Walker sisters cabin. It's 1.1 miles up one way, so 2.2 round trip. Take you about a 30-minute walk to get here, and then 30 minutes back. So you can do it in an hour. Just depends on how much time you want to spend up here and wander around and just visit the cabin. So I usually spend, 20-30 minutes anytime I come up here. So I would estimate about an hour and a half for the full trip. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I was being a little lazy today, so I wanted to do a shorter hike. Yesterday was my birthday, and I had way too much Papa John's pizza and cookie cake from the Great American Cookie Company. So yes, I am 53 years old, and I still eat like a 12-year-old, and I am proud of it, so don't judge me. You can if you want. You can judge me in the comments. But anyway, ate way too much and knew I couldn't do a very difficult hike today, so wanted to come back up here before it starts getting crowded for the Thanksgiving holiday. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people up here this coming week. It'll slow down probably after Christmas, and then in January I may swing back up here again when the cooler temperatures are out. It's just a fascinating cabin. I absolutely love it. One of the nicest ones in the park. So if you ever get a chance, I would highly recommend it. Like I said, it's not a very long walk, and you can see the schoolhouse and this cabin, and both are just wonderful places to visit. So highly recommended. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. I'd also go ahead and ask that you hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything. It'll just give you a notification the next time I publish another video. But until next time, just keep walking.